Socialization.
Yes, yes.
Socialization is what we are going to take today. Okay. So before going into the topic, I'd like to talk about, some certain things which are there in your textbook. That's about uh, Aristotle said, man is a social animal. We are quoting him because, of course, everybody born as an animal, as a living being, you know that after we get socialized, we become humans. In Sanskrit, there is a word called Manushya, Manishi. Manishi means the person who gets knowledge about this society and enlighten himself is called Manishi. Then Purusha. Purusha means a social being or a human being who can understand everybody around him and get mingled with others. So, sorry, first is Purush, then is Manusha. So this is what our Vedas and Puranas told us. So now coming to socialization. What is socialization? What is socialization? Yeah. Please let me know if presentation is not working. You should let me know so that I will stop and restart the presentation again. Socialization, to our knowledge, to the scientific evidences, we know that since 50,000 years, human being has been, known as Homo erectus, and as uh, since man man in the sense, human beings started standing straight, they understood how to utilize their brain properly, and by using their gestures, different acts, they used to communicate. Slowly they developed the communication method, which is called language. Language differs from place to place, uh, culture to culture, countries to countries, even remote areas of country, people talk different languages or dialects. So these vary due to the mixture of the different cultures. So once you start knowing about the culture and other things, people try to derive you. Who is going to give you what culture to follow, what not to follow, how to behave in this society, how not to behave. All these things are called socialization, the process of socialization. So after completion of this particular unit, we will be talking about we will be discussing about process of socialization, types of socialization, agents, and how socialization takes place in society or uh, among the human beings. We'll start with a simple explanation. What is socialization? As I already told you, socialization makes him or her responsive to the society. He's socially active. He becomes Purish, and the culture that his group inculcates in him humanizes him and makes him as Manusha. And this process is lifelong. This is never-ending process. Now, Western scholars and psychologists, they defined socialization in similar way, where it says socialization is a lifelong process through which individuals learn and internalize norms, values, behavior, attitude, beliefs, and social skills of that particular group or society where he is born or living. Where he is born or living. He can't you know go along with his attitudes, beliefs, behaviors, values to other society or other country and live with them. Then he will struggle, and finally he will be named as something weird or abnormal behavior. So he has to learn new things whenever he go and used to the new situation or new environment. So Ogburn and Nimkoff in 1931, they said socialization is the process by which individual learns to conform to the norms of the group. So what is the purpose of socialization? As I already told you, it helps integrate individuals into the society, as said by Kimbley. Facilitates cultural continuity. Cultural continuity. Then, one second. I'm getting this window disturbed. 1 second. Now, wherever individuals with the yeah, as you are born as a kid, your parents taught you something, because parents are the primary sources of socialization. They teach you something, then this peer groups, then in the school, then office environment, then at the end you start teaching the same whatever you learned to your offsprings, then to their offsprings. Similarly, this is how the cultural continuity goes on in this society. So now, what is the nature? It is a continuous learning path. Throughout the life you are going to learn. They can be positive, they can be negative. Always learning is the basis of socialization. Now, what are the main characteristics of socialization? It is a lifelong process from cradle to grave. पैदा होने से चले जाने तक और పుట్టినప్పటి నుంచి చనిపోయేంత వరకు. It is a lifelong process, dynamic and context dependent. As I said, it changes. Dynamic means it adapts, changes to the new situations, and context dependent. You can't go along with your values and other things, and it will not work in the different place. For example, you are working in a particular organization. You can't have the same set of rules in the different new organization wherever you go. It has different norms, rules, regulations where you have to follow them. So that is nothing but I'm just talking about office or corporate environments. Similar things will also occur in your personal life. Context dependent, influenced by culture and societal factors, where society plays a major role. Suppose a culture has giving a red rose is acceptable. Similarly, red rose is not accepted in some other countries. You can't sit on the footpath. What do you call? There are some European countries. You can't sit on the footpath. It's a crime. You are fined 100 euros. Similarly, you can't use vehicles like cars and motorcycles in some of the cities in Europe. You have car, that doesn't mean you can go anywhere as you like. So there are some rules where strictly those countries will follow. In some countries, you can't even hold hand of a female in public. Holding hand by a same gender is crime in some countries. So these are all cultural context based norms which you have to follow. Similarly, a child is raised in a collectivist culture may prioritize family and community over individual goals. So like collectivist is nothing but where cultural domination is there, like our cultures, Indian culture, Asian cultures, where it is community based culture. They prioritize community goals over individual goals, while some other individualistic cultures like European countries, US, these people, they focus on personal achievements rather than community achievements. Okay, now what are the goals of socialization? Primary goals: teach societal norms and values. By the way, are you able to hear me? and see the presentation.
Sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay. So teach societal norms and values. Help individuals to learn acceptable behavior, traditions, and moral principles to function in society. Unless and until you teach your child how to respect elders, can you teach him when he grows up completely? No, right from the childhood, parents has to take an initiative, teach the child how to behave with the other people or receive. Like, घर में कोई आता है, what do? You give water. By looking at you, your child also learns he has to serve water to somebody. If some new person comes to home, you are inviting them, you should receive them, give them water, offer them to, chair to sit. All these things are certain norms which your house has. Similarly, these things will pass on to your child through you, because you are the role model for your children. Now, developing identity and self-aware, what is that? Enabling individual to understand themselves, their strengths, and their place in the society. Once they get knowledge through you, they will understand your. Once you give importance to your child in the house, or a child is given proper, importance, they will definitely know that they are a being. They are recognized by the society, a family, or brothers, siblings. Then they will have their own identity. They will develop their, they're aware of themselves, and they'll be strengthening their skills and other things, so that they'll secure their place in the society. Encouraging role performance. What is role performance? Guiding individuals to fulfill societal roles such as family, work, community, and responsibility. Helping elders, your role, donating something to the society. Children start watching you right from their childhood. Whatever you do, that becomes a social norm for them. Whatever you do, it can be negative or positive. That goes with even, male child looking at his father, he also starts shaving, acting like, brush as a gumana. Don't you see that in many houses children will do that? Similarly, female, they, start cutting, acting, uh, cutting, what do you call, vegetables, then so many things, dressing a doll. All these things are learned by the child looking at you, that is parent. So example, children learning respect for elders from their family itself. So you don't respect your parent, then how can you expect your child to respect you? So you are a guide, you are a role model to your children. That's how children learn societal norms. Now coming to how it is going to impact. Positive impact: build social skills, strengthens relationships. If somebody falls down, you say, Chordo, let him, he'll get up. That you can do with your child to give him autonomy or confidence. He'll get up and do it. But somebody else is the person who is in need or who can't get up, you have to go and help them out. Similarly, if start communicating children without stopping them, let them speak the thing which is valuable, then they will understand the communication value too, so that they mingle with the new children, strengthen their relationships. Whenever they go to the school, even you change the school all the sudden or go to new place, they don't have fear of getting mingling with the other students or other community people, because they are self-aware. They have their confidence is built, their communication skills are strong, and they'll strengthen the relationships too. Similarly, if properly, if negative effect is there, what will happen? He or she may become stereotypic and face inequalities, can reinforce stereotype. पूरे लोग ऐसे रहते हैं, ये दुनिया पूरा ऐसा ही है, nobody is going to understand me, मेरे साथ ऐसा ही होता है. So all negative things he starts thinking. If you don't teach your children properly, what will happen? Without mingling, they will isolate themselves. They find some other means to support them by taking alcohol or cigarette smoking, or the people who can soothe them by negative thoughts or negative things. So example, media portraits gender role shaping societal expectations. Women are always, men are always. I think you are able to see where I'm pointing out. Similarly, let us take a positive and negative impact of the social media. What is now socializing most of the children. Let us assume that if social media is going to give positive effect for the children or whoever it is, because it is a lifelong process of learning or socializing. So if the positive effects, if you use the social media positively, it enhances global connectivity, access to diverse perspective, real-time information exchange, community building and support, encouragement of self-expression, etc., etc. Then negative, reduce face-to-face interactions. You can't directly look into somebody's eyes and talk to them because you're always into the social media, just posting and waiting for the responses. Echo chamber and confirmation bias. You're waiting for likes or dislikes. What you want, that only echoes to you. Other things you will block. So misinformation and rumors, cyberbullying and online harassment, and impaired language and articulation skills. You will type LOL. What is LOL? There's so many things which we are losing our communication language by cutting down the language into shortcuts. LOL. Sia. What is this? What is this? Is this what you're going to pass it on to the next generation? This is not how it is going to happen. Socialization occurs in a systematic way. You're not adapting to the new condition. That doesn't mean you're not socialized. You know it, but you have to pass the right thing to your next generation. So these are the positive and negative effects of the social media impact on the socialization. Anyway, I have taken latest things also. Process of socialization, how many stages it has? Look at this, you will understand, then I'll explain one by one. What is the primary source of socialization towards the child? Child working model, it has derived for so many people. I'll tell you, one is positive, the other one is unloved and rejected. Can you see this flow chart? Type yes or at least say yes. Flow chart.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, flow chart. Here, unloved, rejected, or angry, confused. See, if it is positive, unloved, secure, unloved, rejected, avoidant behavior, then angry and confused, resistant. What will happen if it is angry, resistance? It is outward projection, like this. Look at this screen. Oppositionality, defiance, outburst, aggression, and temper. They'll show outward. The anger is shown towards the surroundings. If it is inward, like avoidant behavior, then child shows withdrawal symptoms, avoidance, somatic complaints, either pain or other pain or school ko nahi jana hai, anxiety, depression. So positive, you don't need to tell positive. Positive is definitely they are going to teach somebody. You are not going to teach them. You're just going to give them information. Now learning, observation, learning through watching others. That is imitation. As I told you, they learn from the role model. That's your parents, right from the beginning. Parents, then the elder siblings, then the peer group. Then once they go into the school is going to train them how to communicate with others and compete positively. Other things than interactions. What is this? Engaging with others to practice the learned behavior. Look at this. The child sees that father is scolding mother continuously and she is crying. Slowly he thinks that that's a normal thing. When he sees the similar behavior along his peer groups, he thinks this is a normal behavior. Then he internalizes this. What does he do after internalizing? He adopts the same behavior immediately. He also starts fighting instead of discussing, debating, or he fights thinking that that's a normal, social normal. So once he learns and he sees the same behavior by the others also, then he adopts the same behavior here. So that's how a basic socialization occurs. The child learns politeness by observing parents and practicing greetings, etc. घर को कोई आएगा, please come, welcome, namaste, all these things should be taught to your children. Otherwise you will teach, you don't do that, but you will teach your children saying that अरे अंकल आए, नमस्ते बोलो, नमस्ते जप्पू, welcome him, good morning bolo, good afternoon bolo. Don't you say that? Of course we are all doing that. Okay, so next, what are the most elements of socialization? First and foremost, until human being learn.
Communication.
Very good. For that, what do you need?
Interaction.
For
Language.
that, what? Yeah, of course, language. Language is most important. So until according to the scientific evidence, it is said that human beings started speaking since 50,000 years. So since 35,000 years, they know how to use verbal communication with different communities, not among themselves, different communities. They started previously they were nomadics. Whenever they used to mingle with the other groups or other communities or other tribes, they used to communicate with sign language. After they taught the other community also how to speak, they developed their own skills of communication and communication method. So this communication language is first and foremost component or element of socialization. So language should be the primary tool of communication of learning. Then norms and values, whatever you follow, beliefs, societal rules and moral codes, these are all the things which you follow and show your children, then only they also follow that. So once the language to communicate around the world, similarly do's, don'ts, what to do, what not to do, all these things are societal norms. Then the values which you carry forward to the next generation. Values means how do you respect elders, your culture, all these things, your parents, your grandparents, all these values, the learnt new norms, you should pass it on to your next generation. These are all called values. They are just like diamond. Then role, expectation, expected behavior and position. What does it mean? You are not just a single human being and you don't have only one role to play. You have many roles to play. Let us take an example of a woman. Suppose she has studied something very good and she has become a professor. What is the role she has to perform? First, teacher. While teaching, she has colleagues to communicate. Then she marries, she has children. The other thing, she also has to do experiments or writing part. If at all she want to become an author, she will do it. And she as a wife also, she has a role to play. So simple example of role and status. She has to maintain as a professor. As a mother, she has status. As a researcher, As a wife, she has role to play over there. Okay, so every individual have different roles and statuses depending on the situation or where they are placed. So that has to be fulfilled, and they are going to teach their next generation similar way. Like, you may be a daughter for somebody, and a sister to someone, and a wife to somebody, and a mother of someone later. So you have your roles based on your situation, education. You have your status. That's how you have to perform all those things. If not simultaneously, you have to perform all those things. Now, the most important psychologist, you have defined 8 stages of development by psychologist called Erickson. There are 8 stages in life, psychosocial stages of development. Part 1 is from stage 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll discuss in depth. I think yeah, stage 1, that is 0 to 1 year, infancy, we call it infancy. So this is where trust versus mistrust developed in the child. They'll be watching us. When child cries, immediately mother will respond, or father, or the caregiver who are taking care of them, they have to respond. Here, knowingly or unknowingly child will think, can I trust the world? That's where this positive and negative can occur here. Developing trust when caregivers provide consistent care. Positive, trust, hope, security. If caregiver doesn't give proper care, then fear and suspicion. He keeps on crying, then he'll fear of the things around him. Some sound is, immediately mother comes and tap, nahi kuch nahi dekh, relax. If that is done, then he will develop trust and hope and security. If that is not, you are not supporting the child, or the parent is not supporting the child, then they'll develop fear and suspicion. A baby crying and receiving comfort builds trust. Neglecting fosters mistrust. What about the second stage? Second stage is autonomy versus shame and doubt. That is 1 to 3 years. Many parents, what they do, ये ड्रेस पहनो, ये अच्छा लगता है, this will suit you. When you start posing your interests on the child, will they have autonomy? खुद से कुछ करने के लिए will they show interest? They will not show interest. Doubt आएगा, अगर ये ड्रेस डालूं क्या बोलेंगे, शायद मैं अच्छा नहीं लगूंगी. They will have doubt about themselves. So this is where it develops, can I do things myself, or must I rely on others or caregiver? Developing independence is key here. So positive outcome, confidence, autonomy. Then negative is doubt and shame. Example, a child learning to dress themselves gain confidence over criticizing efforts lead to doubt. అరే ఏ డ్రెస్ పైన అవి नहीं आता, you don't know how to dress. బట్టలు వేసుకోవడం రాదు నీకు, ఎలా తయారవుతావు నువ్వు, ఎక్కడికి పోతావు, ఏం చేస్తావు? If parents discourage child like this, they will never develop autonomy, and they will never be happy. Then stage 3, initiative versus guilt. 3 to 6 years. This is where you should encourage, or parents should encourage. This is given by Erickson. Encourage to after playing, ask child or encourage child to set their things right, like folding their cloth, All these things can be encouraged, and if they learn this, automatically they'll take initiative to do things. Even in school also, they'll take initiative to do certain things. Otherwise, guilt. क्या होता है? Is it okay for me to do things? Exploring and initiating activities, like positive, initiating a leadership style, whatever it is, like they'll become leaders. खुद से काम लेना, they'll take initiative. I'll do it, मैं करूंगा, नहीं చేస్తా नहीं पनी. Otherwise, कोई देखेगा, कोई करेगा, let them do it. Negative, guilt, hesitation, नहीं नहीं नहीं, they will do it, why should I go there? Because you never encourage them to play independently or to arrange things properly in their room. A child organizing a play activity gains initiative. Discouragements can foster guilt. कुछ भी, let them do. जाओ बनाओ, ask the child to do some game, construct a house, giving them proper things. They will understand, they'll get the patience to do that. Give the all material, let them do things, then they will understand how to bring things together instead of distraction. Now coming to fourth stage, industry versus inferiority. This is where child get most exposure in the school. 6 to 12 years. Can I achieve my goals? Mastering skills and gaining approval. Sense of competence. Competitions में participate करना. All these things will, if positivity is there, definitely. If he has some certain skills, or maybe good at studies, playing chess, Vedic maths, if child is trained in certain things and he has that all the previous 3 stages, if he is good enough and he is given a positive training, then automatically competence, he will take over, try to compete with many people around him. Otherwise, feeling of inferiority, मुझे कुछ नहीं आता, I can't do anything, I don't know how to do that. Even he knows it, but he doubts whether he can perform it or not. Child excelling in school work feels industrious, and frequent failures can lead to inferiority. In such cases, parents has to take initiative. Teacher, they'll develop child with different approach. Otherwise, always failure, then teacher also starts scolding child, and negative outcome can lead to next stage. Second, Erickson's psychosocial stages of development part 2 says 5 to 8 stages. This is where child have identity versus role confusion. 12 to 18 years, getting himself an identity or role confusion. Who am I and where am I going? What are my feelings? So key development, this is a key task in developing a personal identity. Like positive outcomes, strong sense of my of self and direction. So child will understand what direction am I going. He will choose his role models, his friends, based on previous positive or negative outcomes only. They are going to choose here. This is the most important phase of any child. This is where they're going to achieve, in the lifespan development, puberty occurs. Here, parents, teachers, they play a major role, and the role model. Teenager experiments with the different roles of forming a clear identity. Failure can lead to confusion. So, like, the peer group influence is there mostly. Then, if the peer group is positive, then automatically he will also get positive attachments or skills or knowledge, whatever it is. Otherwise, they are thrown to negative thoughts and negative feelings. If proper support was not there in the family, then automatically child can be isolating, separating themselves. Withdrawal symptoms will occur for the children. Stage 6, intimacy versus isolation. 18 to 40 crisis. Can I close? No. Can I form a close relationship? Establishing deep relationships. Positive, definitely love and intimacy. They know how to understand, talk to people, uh, women or men, how to communicate, and they know the limitations because of their previous, positive training, can get a, proper, analysis of the other individual, and they can choose proper companion for themselves. Negative outcomes, definitely loneliness, isolation. So once the child is given proper knowledge and proper everything is perfect up to stage 5, then this one also, there are chances child will get positive socialization in this particular stage also, forming a supportive or a romantic a friendship bond. Fear of vulnerability, if uh, he doesn't get positive socialization, then automatically child will form doubt about himself. He likes a girl or girl likes a boy, but they will never talk to anybody. Finally they'll remain as a crush for life. Stage 7, here this is from 40 to 65 years, generativity and stagnation crisis. Can I make the difference? Contributing to the society through work and family. Once he acquires, in this 40 to 65, where human being achieves their maximum potential, and here they not just earn to themselves, they also give to the society in terms of becoming a mentor to the next generation. Helping hand ban jayenge ye log. So they'll be helping the juniors, at the same time their family, the next generation, बच्चे आएंगे, उनके बच्चे आएंगे, सबको हेल्प करते रहेंगे, दे विल बी हेल्पिंग अदर्स टू. So positive outcome is productivity and fulfillment. Negative is stagnation and self absorption. ऐसा नहीं करना था, वो करना था, I have done something like this, etc. Mentoring, young professionals and raising children, fostering generativity, and focusing solely on professional needs leads to stagnation. अगर you are always focused on yourself, मेरे लिए घर बनाना, मेरे लिए ये करना, मेरे लिए वो करना, मेरे बच्चों के लिए करना, so all apart from achieving this, you will become solely restrict, कुएं का मेंढक बोलते हैं ना, जैसा you will restrict yourself among your family only, you will not be supporting anybody in the society. So if positive outcomes are there, productivity and fulfillment is there, you will definitely go out and help others to also achieve their life goals, and they will definitely appreciate you, they'll support the society in many ways. Integrity versus despair, 65 plus, where this is the time where individual thinks, did I do anything, did I achieve anything, was my life meaningful? This is the where individual reflects, they'll go back and check their all history, what did I do? If the background or history is good, they will accept and they'll be happy, they'll share their wisdom to the next generation, otherwise they'll regret and despair. అరే ఏ करने से ये हुआ, वो करने से that happened, అలా జరిగింది, ఇలా జరిగింది, లేకపోతే they'll have always negative stories imposing on their next generation. If it is positive, they'll encourage their next generation, they'll support them. Elder feeling proudly of their life accomplishments versus one regretting missed opportunities. This is what I told you. So now types of socialization, different people have given, psychologists has given different explanations. Orwell and F. Brim Jr. has given described socialization as a lifelong process. Types of socialization process are, as I said, it is lifelong learning. First is primary socialization, second anticipatory, resocialization, adult, organizational, and group socialization. We'll look deep into this one by one. So what is primary socialization? Primary, initial social learning during childhood. family, close care, caregivers. Example, learning basic manners, language at home, etc. Who gave this theory? Hello.
Brim Jr.
Yes, very good. So, learning basic manners and language at home. You're going to teach your children. Apart from the language which is spoken outside the house. You may be in China or Russia. They may speak Russian, but your basic language in your house can be Telugu, Hindi, Tamil, Sanskrit, whatever it is, But you're going to teach your children in your own mother tongue. So that's where child becomes aware of things around him through the mother tongue. The secondary socialization is learning behavior for specific roles and environments, especially here the agents are school, workplace. Schools definitely they're going to mingle with other students. They are there in the school at least 5 to 6 hours. The majority of their day is spent over there. Then workplace, 10 hours, almost 8 to 10 hours everybody is going to spend there. This becomes secondary socialization sources. Adapting to the corporate culture in new job, that's as I in the beginning itself I gave you example. You can't carry on the previous corporate rules to the new corporate office. So every place has its own set of rules. You have to adapt to them. Similarly, adapting to the team and team culture and building teamwork is very important in corporate sectors. Now, anticipatory. What is anticipatory? Anticipating what would he or you will be in future. Like defining definition is preparing for the future role. Like you're doing internships or playing a pretend role as a child. मुझे डॉक्टर बनना है, you'll become stethoscope ऐसा लगा पेरेंट्स दे देते हैं, they'll keep the stethoscope and start acting as a doctor. Yes, I've seen some people who became doctor like this. Their parents just gave them stethoscope in the 4th and 5th year, and always kept a note on the wall saying that I am a doctor, I'll become a doctor, and I am a doctor. Every time she used to see that. Now she is doing her PG at Tirupati. So I have seen like 5-6 students who have become doctors. I mean children who have become doctors. Rehearsing for the future positions and occupations of the and social. See, this is how you reflect yourself. I'll be becoming like this. It doesn't mean everybody becomes, but at least anticipating your socialization. I'll be becoming so and so. My role is this. I'll be doing this. Similarly, you will be preparing for IAS officer. You will be IAS, so you will be looking at your role models. Imagining, if I become so and so, then I'll be doing this. This will be my role, in the what do you call society. I'll do these things. So imagining all those things and preparing for the future. Resocialization. Scaffer and Lamb has given in 1992 saying that it is learning new norms after abandoning the old ones. For example, a person is sentenced for 14 years in jail. After coming from the prison, it is very difficult for him or her to mingle in the society right away. It takes time, 2 years, 3 years, changing themselves to the new society. Similarly, when a person goes into the jail, is it difficult to adapt or easy to adapt? It also takes time to adapt. Similarly, once he comes out of the jail or prison, it takes longer time to adapt to these new situations or conditions. Similarly, a soldier, transitioning as a civilian life, soldier, they got set of rules, strict rules they will follow. Once they come into the society, here they are completely confused. What is this? Yeah, aisa ja raha, waisa ja raha. These people are not doing properly, not driving properly, everywhere they get complaint, always complaining. Finally, once they get accustomed to that, they will also follow the same rules as the civilians. So there's an example. Now, an agent of socialization is responsible for transferring the rules, expectations, norms, values, and folkways of a given social order. Unless and until you teach your children, they are not going to learn your festivals, nor carry forward those rituals, norms which your parents have taught you. Similarly, these things will teach once you start following these things. The families, children watch them and learn how to, what festival, what you should do, what time you have to get up, what rituals you have to do. All these things are silently, children are watching you and learning by means of performing, or stories, or songs, what they perform at the time of those rituals or functions. Children try to learn from the previous generation. So school, yes, reinforcing societal norms and skills. These norms which are followed by the society at the school, or the social norms derived from the constitution mostly. This has to be followed by all the schools, if based on the societal norms defined by that state. So learning through the classroom rules. Whatever teacher teaches, children learns. So teachers have a great responsibility in giving out the children the best, so that you can see the next coming generations successful in their life. Teacher is the only person who will be happy if he or she sees their students growing up better than them. Right now, what is the role of community? Shapes shared identity and values. Everybody come together, celebrate, exchange their views. Neighbors can, even today, even people around us, our neighbors comes to us, give, offer some, today we have celebrated this, these are the some dishes, I don't know what word to use that, they cook something and give us, share karte hai na, these things are shared among yeah, neighbors, and they come exchange their food items. And this is how a community gives a lot of values, identity to the individual. And you also start forming such habits, learning from the neighbor, saying that so many things. So groups, these groups can foster some, sorry, 1 second, distracted me. Yeah, peer groups influence is always there, influences the behavior and identity during the adolescence. Teenagers adopt slang, fashion, trends. That बोलते हैं ना, कोई बच्चा बोलता है, क्या बोलता है, यो मैन क्या कर रहे हो. It is not taught in your home, but you learn from there, come and use it. Parents बोलेंगे क्या बोल रहा है ये, यो क्या बोल रहा है, what are you doing this, मैं हिंदू చేస్తున్నా ఇలా. You'll change, मेरा दोस्त बोल रहा था इसीलिए I am also doing, मैं कर रहा हूँ ये सब. So dressing habits, parents may object, some parents support that. Similarly, new culture starts in the family. Religion plays a major role in shaping of religious identity in the society, provides moral guidance and rituals. Religious ceremonies making life milestones. These things will not forget, especially if parents are not able to teach children, then it is better take them to temples, mosques, church, where they are strictly taught their way of doing things. That's where children can definitely attract and learn the way, religious way of socialization also. So workplace definitely develops a professionalism and role specific behavior. and a new employee learning new office etiquette. This is what I told you earlier also. So mass media influences perceptions and behaviors on the global scale. Social media shaping trends and opinions. Every day you can see so many especially Elon Musk is shaping new world order now. He's changing governments. He's imposing so many things on countries, and even some countries are elections. Is meddling into the elections. Even there's so many things are happening because social media influence is there a lot. So false information, misinformation, disinformation, be careful. Try to use your cognitive abilities, assess things properly. That is what very important. Anyway, this is a major socialization right now in the society. So what are the key points we have learned now? Socialization is a lifelong process influenced by agents like family, peer group, media, etc. Types include primary, secondary, anticipatory, and resocialization. And we have learned about Erickson's stage of socialization, that is 8 stages. And we told you, positive, negative, isolation, all these things. This is a generalized socialization process happens. So socialization shapes who we are and how we interact the world. As Aristotle said, man is a social animal, but if you are properly learning things, you can become a human being. It is not about being born as a human being. Being human is very important. So I think we have covered. I have tried to present it as the simplest way I could do it and easy to understand. I definitely hope you learned something today. Was that clear? Hello? Anyway,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
before reading the lesson or unit, please read glossary, try to understand them. And these are some certain things which I would like to tell you. I think we still have 8 minutes. See, mass media is not just internet. It is radio, paper, television, blogs, so many things. Resocialization, we already told you, process of learning new norms, values, and attitude and behavior. So yeah, these are the reference books. These are also there in your behind the unit. Go through them. I think this is an excellent book. It is better you people buy it. For all these psychology students, this is a must-have book. Okay. So that is it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Is there anything you want to ask me?
No, sir.
No. You want any slide to be represented again? So I am sure I had a wonderful class. Thank you. See you all tomorrow with social cognition.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Take care, sir.